This holiday season, step into the world of Scrooge, A Christmas Carol, the award-winning audio drama podcast from Hope Media Group and Compassion International. Returning for its 2024 season, this classic tale of redemption and forgiveness is brought to life like never before. Whether you're gathered with family or listening solo, Scrooge is the perfect way to embrace the true meaning of Christmas. Feel the power of the season's spirit with a story of transformation and hope. Catch Scrooge, A Christmas Carol, wherever you listen to podcasts or tune in on ScroogePodcast.com. This year, let the story move you and remind you of the joy of forgiveness and the magic of Christmas.
We're either gonna get engaged or I gotta get out of this relationship because it's not serving either of us. It kind of made me hold the mirror to my life and be like, okay, well, I know I don't want to date for a while. And when I eventually do, what do I want to have in a partner? And then when I determined those qualities, it was like, okay, well, who am I to not also have those qualities?
Yeah.
So then it really was just like a big, take a look in the mirror and set the standard of your life.
So Tori, welcome to 80/20.
Oh, thank you.
So happy to have you here.
I'm literally having the time of my life.
I know. So where are we right now?
Okay. We're at the Spotify studios in New York.
We are.
And I have the giggles.
Honestly, a little bit same. When you walked in, you're like, hi. And I was like, hi. And I was like, I just knew that this was going to be a fun afternoon. Yeah.
I've had the giggles. I was telling you 5 seconds ago. Since my eye doctor appointment yesterday, they have just not gone away. And I've just been like in a slap happy mood.
You're like giddy about life.
I'm just giddy about life.
So fun.
Like life is so good.
Life is so good.
And how lucky are we?
We're
Like how
so
cool
lucky.
is this? You know what I mean?
This is so cool. So huge thank you to Spotify for
Thank
setting
you,
this up.
Spotify.
Thank you, Spotify. The team at Spotify is just great. And
Very great.
They've been good to me, so I'm feeling very grateful today.
Sorry, I should stop touching it.
No, you're good. Honestly, these mics are so good that like you could bump it, tap it. I don't think that it really picks it up. And these headphones are so good. When Millie was doing the like production, and she was asking me questions, I couldn't hear it because the headphones were on, and I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, what?" She was like repeating her questions. I was like, "Oh, sorry, okay."
No,
went back to my own little podcast land.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
this is fun.
This is so fun. So you're in the city just for today and tomorrow.
Today and tomorrow, some podcasting, and then you're also gonna be on Manifest too.
Yes,
so we have
I'm
that
so
tomorrow. A few other guests. So yeah, just like quick in and out trip.
Yeah, it's fun though to come for like work.
So fun.
And like I get to use that term loosely because it's like work.
I haven't done like a work trip in New York since I was on YouTube and stuff.
Really?
Yeah, like IMAT's BeautyCon, stuff like that.
Like that's like
old.
Do they still do that stuff?
I don't think so.
Like remember like VidCon?
Yeah.
Did you ever go?
Of course I went.
That's so cool.
No, like one of the podcast recordings that I'm doing tomorrow is like with like Brooke and Danielle.
Oh, fun.
Who like I grew up doing YouTube with them. So we're gonna dive deep into stories.
That's so
fun. And I've been like thinking about them all day, and the fact that you just brought that up right now is so funny. But like, yeah, it's bringing me back, like coming here for work.
Like, were these stories of like crazy things that you guys would do?
Yeah,
as, like young YouTubers?
Yeah, because growing up in high school on YouTube, like, yes, you had, your high school that you went to, but you also had like an online high school almost because we knew everyone that was online on YouTube. And then when we would all get together for these like conventions, it was just like seeing your friends you don't get to see a lot. So we all just went crazy.
That's so fun though.
Crazy.
Like, what's like the craziest thing that you did?
We just did a lot of like just partying and just running around. Like there are so many stories that I don't even know which ones to say, and I don't want to like name drop. It was just crazy. Like I don't even have a good answer.
Because you lived in LA for a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that right?
Those are probably my craziest stories is from LA.
How old were you when you lived in LA?
I was 17.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you just got to go there, right? Mm-hmm. Did your parents come?
Yeah. So my mom was going to drop me off. And then when she was about to leave, I was like, can you stay? And she was like, yeah, I'll stay. Okay. So my mom stayed up in Santa Barbara. Nice. We have like a family house up there. Like my grandma has a house there. So my mom stayed up in Santa Barbara. I was in LA. And it was a fun summer. I was going to stay there a lot longer, but I quickly realized, like, this isn't really my path. Yeah. I don't want to be a full-time influencer at 17.
That's a mature decision to make at 17.
Thank you.
How did you, like, realize that? Like, what was, like, the moment? Was there, like, one moment, or was it just over time?
It was kind of over time. Like, when I had YouTube as a hobby, it was so much fun. And I really enjoyed having this part-time thing that was fun, made money for myself, and was a really cool thing to do after school on the weekends. And, like, when I would miss school, I'd be like, I'm going to New York. Like, bye. Yeah. You know what I mean? But then when it became full-time, and I was doing online school for it, went out to LA for it, that's when it stopped becoming fun. Yeah. And it was like, oh, I have to wake up and film a video instead of I get to do this because I'm choosing to do it. And I just felt unfulfilled because I think what made me love it so much was having something else. Like I was, a student, I was in school, I was whatever. That's why I think now when I see influencers have full-time jobs, it's like the best thing that they can do to have something else outside of influencing, because it gives you something to talk about. It gives you relatability. It gives you substance, and it also gives you so much perspective on how cool it is that we get to do things like this because this isn't my full-time job. Yeah. But, like, how cool is it that we still get to do this?
Well, and then it helps you keep that passion.
Yeah.
Because you're not just, like, burning yourself out on making content. That was something that I found, like, because I used to have a vlog channel, too.
Yeah.
I don't know, like, it burns you out, like, trying to come up with things to talk about. I'm like, why do people care enough to watch me? And that's almost a little bit of imposter syndrome, but then it's also like reality check. Like, am I doing this for the vlog, or am I doing this because I want to do it? Yeah. And that's something that I found. I was like, I'm only going to this workout class because I need something to vlog about. Yes. I'm like, how dumb is that? That's ridiculous.
It's changed a lot. Like when I was doing it, my thing was makeup, right? So like I would do tutorials or hairstyles, or it was all beauty stuff, hauls, stuff like that. And having that niche was nice. It was a big niche and it was broad, and that gave me topics. But then as soon as I kind of transitioned out of that and into vlogs, same thing. I kind of ran into that of like, okay, am I doing this authentically, or am I doing this because I feel like I need to fill up a vlog?
Yeah, and that's a tough space to be in.
Yeah.
Okay, so you got out of the YouTube scene. And you own and operate Stride.
I do.
Multiple locations.
Yes.
Since we last chatted on the pod.
Yes.
So tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah. So I own Spin and Fitness Studios. I have one in the suburbs of Philly, and I have 3 down at the Jersey Shore. 2 in Sea Isle, 1 in Avalon.
At the beach. That's wild.
Well, you came a crazy weekend. So Lily,
I did. Yeah.
Crazy weekend. So Lily came down to Sea Isle.
Was that 2 summers ago?
It was, summer of 23.
Yeah, that's wild. I can't believe it's been that long since I've actually seen you. That's
crazy. I know. But when I see you, it feels like no time has passed.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I have 2 in Sea Isle, 1 in Avalon, and I just, like, love it. I'm so lucky to have it. It's the best. And it's so funny because for so long, whenever I would say Stride, people would always be like, oh, the one in Phoenixville. But I feel like my Jersey locations are getting a little more traction right now. So like the other day I was at the store and I was wearing a Stride sweatshirt and they're like, oh, is that the place in Jersey? And I'm like, yeah.
That's so cool.
Which is pretty cool. So that makes me happy to see.
Yeah. So you got 1 spin.
Yes.
And then... Or 2 spin.
So my one in Philly has everything. Everything. I say Philly, but it's the suburbs of Philly. Yeah. Has everything. Spin, bar, box, TRX, yoga, Pilates, everything. And then down to the shore, my one location in Sea Isle has spin. My second location in Sea Isle has yoga and Pilates. And Avalon just has yoga and Pilates.
That's so fun.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So your locations at the beach you've had for, like, so, you collected them.
Yeah. Yeah. They're... Like, collectively, this is going to be my 6th summer that I'm going into.
Wow.
Which is wild. It went so fast. But I opened my first location in 2020, and I opened my 3rd location last summer.
Okay. Yeah. And are people just loving the Pilates and the yoga?
Loving it. It's such a dream, and it's so cool to see how much people love it, which is all in divine timing because I've also just really fallen in love with yoga. Like I went through a 200-hour yoga teacher training, which was awesome. I know you went through one as well. And that's just like a really cool journey in and of itself. But it just all felt very, I don't know, just like in divine timing of when things are meant to happen.
Yeah. And those trainings are so transformative. And I feel like, because when I started my yoga training, and I actually finished it online because I don't know if I told you this, I like took the training and then I moved and I worked and it just didn't work out for me to finish it. So I ended up finishing it online. Yeah. And those trainings, when I started my yoga training, I was like, okay, I just need like a method of fitness that I really like that I can get certified in because I just feel like that's the right thing to do. And I was really struggling with like body image at the time. And so I think that I thought that like getting certified in something would like make me skinny. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I don't think I've ever mentioned that on the podcast.
Wow.
But because I wanted to do the yoga training and I liked yoga, but I think at my core I was like, okay, as soon as I'm certified in something, I'm going to be working out I had this like false idea of like, okay, as soon as I get certified in something, I am going to be able to do it all the time and I'm going to like get skinny. Like I think like at my core, like that was my driving factor.
What a vulnerable thought. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah. I don't know why I thought that. That just came to mind. That's so random.
Well, I think a lot of girls will appreciate hearing that because I don't think it's always talked about, but I do think it's in the back of a lot of people's mind.
Yeah. Have you ever felt like as a fitness instructor that there's like expectations?
1,000%, but definitely at Stride, we really, really try to not bring that narrative. And it's hard. Like, it's definitely hard being in the fitness industry because you'll hear slogans that I don't sign up for, but you hear slogans of, like, your body's your business card. And, like, I hate that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I got into Stride and wanting to own studios because of how the workouts made me feel. Like, when I started spin when I was a senior in high school, almost 10 years ago.
Dude, time
like
flies.
No, like you blink and you have back pain. Like, I don't know how it happens.
My knees hurt. And I asked my mom the other night, this little sidebar, I asked my mom the other night, I was like, when did your like body start hurting from like your workouts? She's like, honestly, it never has. I'm like, okay, mom, sure. Yeah.
That is funny.
Yeah, but you do, you blink. You blink.
And then it just happens and you're like, oh, I'm 26. Okay. 26 was wild turning 26, by the way. Like when I went from 24 to 25, I was like, this is big. 25 to 26, I was like, oh my God, like life is happening.
What do you think is the biggest change?
Well, for me, and I know we're going to kind of talk about this today too. I was in a relationship going in at 26. Yeah. And I was like, it's do or die with this relationship. Like I either need to really commit to this relationship or I got to get out of it because I'm only getting older and I kind of feel like I'm going backwards in my life. Yeah. And I got to figure it out. So like for me, 26/2024 was a big, it's going to be a tough year.
Like make the tough decisions.
Yeah. Like you got to do something. Yeah. And I was really stressed out coming into this year. And I think back on a few episodes that I posted where it was like, oh, that wasn't on my bingo card of just like, I think about that episode and when I filmed it and the headspace I was in and I was just holding back so much. And yeah, so like 26 was just, it was a big year.
Yeah. When's your birthday? Oh, your birthday's in April.
April. Oh my God, how'd you remember? Because my
birthday's in April too.
Yeah, my Aries girl.
Are you the 5th?
I'm the 3rd.
You're the 3rd. Okay.
How do you remember that?
I don't know. I have another friend that's the 5th, and then I have another friend that's like the 20th. I'm the 15th. Mm-hmm. I knew that it was near mine.
Tax day?
Yeah. That's my parents say that's why I'm so expensive. Yeah.
That is good.
I know. And it checks out. Like I'm the most expensive kid by far. Always have been.
That is good.
Yeah. Okay, so let's dive into those tough decisions.
Okay.
Like why wait? I would love to talk about freedom on the other side of a tough decision because that's something like obviously you know that making the hard decision is going to open up doors. Like I feel like a lot of people kind of know that in the back of their mind, but it's getting the courage to do it. So kind of walk me through the tough decision that you had to make and how you knew that you had to make it.
Yeah. So I was in a relationship and before I even get into it, like my ex that I was in a relationship with, him and I ended on great terms. I think he's a really great guy, but we just weren't right for each other, and that's okay. And that was a hard pill to swallow, because when you spend so much time building a relationship with someone, obviously you want it to work out. Yeah. And we really tried every way to make the relationship work. And it was just so apparent to the both of us that it just wasn't going to work. And it was like a mature mutual decision breakup, which is honestly so hard because you just leave still loving them. As we were breaking up, we were just crying to each other, you're my best friend, I love you, and we have to break up.
Yeah, wow.
So it was tough, but I can wholeheartedly say it was the best thing to happen to me, and I'm also fairly certain the best thing to happen to him. It just had to happen, but that doesn't make it easy. So I went into this year knowing we're either gonna get engaged or I gotta get out of this relationship because it's not serving either of us. And I'm so thankful that it went the latter of we've had to go our separate ways, because now knowing the other side of it, if we were engaged, we wouldn't be right for each other.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we were together a very long time. We met in high school. We were on and off for a lot of those 10 years. And we were together for the past 4 years, 3.5, 4 years. So that's a long time to really commit to a relationship and building it and building it and building it and really trying to make it work. And I just knew it wasn't working. He knew it wasn't working. But I just wasn't ready to face the music yet. I really had to exhaust it. And I also needed him to exhaust it too. And it was, when it happened when it was supposed to and the way it was supposed to.
Yeah.
But it was tough. It wasn't easy, but it was so worth it.
So you must have wrestled with this for a while.
For a long time, yeah. I knew about a year before we broke up that I was like, I don't think it's going to work.
That's a long time.
Yeah.
That's a really long time to wrestle with that. Did you tell him, hey, we've got some issues and I don't think that we can work it out? Or was it kind of just you, this spun around in your head for a year?
A little bit of both.
Okay.
We didn't fight much because when we didn't get anywhere.
Yeah.
So a lot of times any uncomfortable conversations just weren't really had. And when they were had, it was coated in honey. You know, it was super sweet because any discomfort just wasn't received well.
Yeah.
So I just never really brought uncomfortable things up.
Which is hard in and of itself because you're not going to grow.
Yes. And that was also something I knew too of okay, if we can't even talk about something uncomfortable now, imagine if we're married or if we have kids and real problems happen.
Yeah.
That's not good.
Yeah.
So that was also a big part of it. But we would every now and then have uncomfortable conversations, and things were fine for a few days after that. And then it would just go back to our normal ways of, we're so comfortable with each other, we're in such a great pattern that why challenge each other to change and why challenge each other to grow.
Right.
Anyway, to bring it back to the question, did I bring it up? Very slightly, but not a ton, but it also wasn't blindsiding. We both knew. Yeah. There were a few times within that year of talks of maybe we're about to break up, but then we wouldn't. But we both knew.
Yeah.
It was unspoken.
Did you have anxiety about the decision and the moment that it would come, or did you kind of feel like you knew that this was the right decision that you had to make?
I definitely knew it was the right decision.
Okay.
And towards the end, the last 2 months, I knew it was coming. And I knew it because we weren't seeing each other as much. We weren't talking as much. We just were out of our normal rhythm and routine with one another. And also when people would ask me about, how is he? How's our relationship? I would just be like, whatever.
Dang.
Yeah. So
okay.
I really knew. And I remember there was this one client at the studio that I hadn't seen in so long. And she was like, "Oh, are you still with your boyfriend?" I was like, "Yeah, we'll see for how long." I just, it was so coming. Yeah. You know what I mean? again, doesn't make it easier, but I was beginning to really just be like, you gotta cut it. Like it's
like
so
it's
time.
like you're dragging it on like longer than it has to be, and you're just gonna like continue to like hurt.
And the thing was, like, there wasn't really issues.
Mm-hmm.
It was just I deserve better.
Yeah.
He deserves different. And we just weren't right for each other. And that's also hard, of looking in the mirror and being like, I know I'm not right for him either. And he needs to find someone that is right for him. Like, that's tough.
That's really
because
hard.
You want to be, like, you're in love with someone. You want to be the right person for them. But knowing that you're not is hard. And
That's
it's
so
humbling.
hard. Yeah.
You know, it's like, oh my God, how can I not be right?
Yeah, well, you almost have to like check your ego too and get real with yourself and be like, okay, well, yeah, then there's someone out there better for me, or different for me.
Yeah. And it's so crazy.
Tough.
You know, the other day I was on a date, and he was at the same restaurant on a date.
No way.
Isn't that crazy?
Oh my goodness. Is
that crazy?
That's wild.
I know.
Well, I mean, good for you that you're both on dates.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
How'd that make you feel?
I was so thrown off. I didn't see him.
Yeah.
I don't know if he saw me. The waitress pulled me aside and she was like, just say, like, you know, like, your ex is outside.
Wait, how'd the waitress know?
Because she knows me.
Oh, okay.
And she was like, your ex is outside, so if you don't want to see him, like, go out the store. And I was like, thank you so much. Like,
Dang.
I love you.
Okay, so that's good that you guys
Girls,
didn't see each other.
Yeah, I didn't see him.
That's
but
good.
I knew that he was there, and that, like, threw me for a loop. You know what I mean?
Just knowing that they're like in the same vicinity.
Yeah.
Like your paths are crossing.
100%. That really threw me, but it was also, I feel like, a nice sign from the universe of you guys can coexist.
Yeah.
And you guys, whatever, but this is what you both need to move on.
Yeah. If you're both going on dates, that means that you're both in a good place.
Yeah.
And like I don't want to, speak for you or speak for him and say they're both happy or happier. But if you're both going on dates, that's a good sign.
Yeah. I genuinely just want him to be happy always. And I know he would want the same for me.
Yeah. How'd you feel right after it happened? Because this is a tough decision.
Yeah.
You decided that you're going to make it. On the other side of that decision, let's say like a day after the decision was made, how'd you feel?
Okay. So when I woke up the morning after, which is crazy, like, we broke up at night, like 10 p.m. at night. And then he left at like 2 a.m. because we were just like crying together for like 4 hours, which was honestly really nice. Like, we grieved the relationship together. That was nice. The next morning when I woke up, it was in the middle of summer, which is my craziest time of work ever.
Were you in like at the beach?
At the beach.
So were you in the beach house?
I was.
Were people there?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so hard.
Oh, yeah. It was the 4th of July weekend.
Oh, my goodness.
No, packed.
Wow.
Packed. Like, the busiest week down the shore.
That's like the worst time ever.
The worst.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're in a packed house.
Packed house. The busiest time.
Wow.
Had tons of work. But looking back, such a blessing.
Yeah.
It kept me so busy and kept me so, like, with my head down. And it also just opened up a ton of opportunities for me all at the same time.
Yeah.
Anyway, wake up the next morning, and I went downstairs and I, like, told my parents. And, they, like, comforted me. But then that day I went to the studios, did my thing, went to the gym. And it was when I went to the gym was when I realized, like, okay, like, I'm going to be okay.
Yeah.
I know I'm going to be okay. Because I think also a part of knowing for so long that the relationship kind of had to end was I was, like, micro grieving it for the past year.
Yeah.
Right? So when it finally happened, it was not like a weight lifted off my shoulders by any means, but, like, the burden of knowing I had to do this super uncomfortable thing, having that be gone was very nice.
Yeah.
So when I went to the gym, that was like the first time in 4 years that I was like, I can do whatever I want.
Wow.
I don't have to check my phone.
Yeah.
I don't have to talk to anyone. I don't have to plan my day around anyone. I don't have to worry about anyone except myself. And that was really cool. And that was really freeing.
Mindset.
Yeah, that was nice. And I just kept on with that. And then it kind of made me hold the mirror to my life and be like, okay, well, I know I don't want to date for a while. And when I eventually do, what do I want to have in a partner? And then when I determined those qualities, it was like, okay, well, who am I to not also have those qualities?
Yeah.
So then it really was just like a big take a look in the mirror and set the standard of your life and just become who you want to be as a life partner, who you want to have as a life partner. And that was really cool. Like going on this whole big journey of self-reflection and transformation. And like, I talked to no one. Like I would talk to my best friend, Katie, my friend, Chelsea, and like, that was it.
Wow.
It was just the two of them. And it was so freeing to just do what I want when I wanted it. And I didn't have to talk to anyone about it, check in with anyone. I never had to go on my phone. It was so nice. Like I got back to me.
Yeah. There's something so cool about that self-discovery period.
Yeah.
And I have a criteria list in my notes app of like my dream guy. He's going to have this criteria. And Lexi, my younger sister, has the same thing. Something that I didn't know is that she actually has underneath of her criteria list is a what am I going to do and what am I going to be for him list.
Oh, what a great list.
What a great list. Yeah. And so when you said that, you know, not only am I going to look for X, Y, and Z in him, but I'm going to be A, B, C, D, you know, whatever. And I think that that's so beautiful because you can ask someone for all these things, but if you're not going to do the work yourself, then
100%.
What good is that?
100%.
So what did that kind of look in the mirror period look like for you?
I knew that I wanted for myself to be able to completely provide for myself, knowing that like, and I did before and I did during, but I always just wanted to know, like, no matter what happens, like I'm always going to be good financially, emotionally, and socially. Like if I could be my own best friend, I'm good. If I can comfort myself when I need to be comforted, I'm good. If I can always provide for myself financially, I'm good. So those three things I was really big on. And like my therapist would always be like, you need to like go to a bar and sit by yourself at the bar and like take yourself to dinner, or you need to go book a solo trip somewhere.
Did you do those things?
Well, no, but
I was gonna be like, how'd they go?
Solo trip, right?
Yeah,
like if you're alone now, I booked a little hotel.
That is a solo trip.
Yeah, I'm like doing my own thing.
Little
today.
self-discovery.
Yeah, totally.
Tuesday, Wednesday, self-discovery days. Yeah,
totally.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I haven't done it yet, but I do have
so
plans to go to Boston.
Yeah, by yourself.
Yeah, by myself.
Perfect.
Yeah, so that's.
Are you visiting
soon.
Anybody or just like?
No.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, Boston's fun.
Yeah, I've never been, so I'm really excited.
Yeah.
So that's one of them. Going to dinner is like a thing that I want to do. But also another big thing was like making friends, because for so long my best friend was my ex, right?
Yeah.
So not only do you lose like a love, but you lose a best friend.
Right.
And that's a whole different thing to grieve. But I was like, okay, I really want to open myself up to finding and making new friends. And I've been so open to that. And that's been really fun. Yeah. And, you know, some girls I've definitely gotten closer with. Some girls, like, I'll meet up with them from coffee. I'm like, oh, this is nice. But, like, I don't think it's going to go much like, farther. Yeah. Like, it's so weird, like, going on, like, dates with girls as, like, friends. It's like, well, let's try it out. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's been cool, like, making friends and just things of that nature. So always being able to provide for myself, regardless of how that looks, has been number one. I also knew that I myself wanted to be really regimented with my routines. Like I love mornings, I love nights, I love working out, I love eating a certain way, taking care of myself as I drink an Olipop.
Olipops are good though.
We love Olipop in this house.
Yeah, I love an Olipop.
And so I knew that standard of living I wanted for myself, and I also wouldn't accept less of. That was sort of the thing, is like if I raise my standard of living, I won't accept less than that in a partner. Yeah. So for me, it was just really important to set that standard and live by it.
Yeah. If you've got a certain morning routine, if hitting the gym first thing or going for a 5-mile run is the first thing on your to-do list, you might expect the same from your partner. Like I know for me, like I've gotten big into running, and I would hope that my partner likes running too, because then we could go running together.
Yeah, 100%.
So it's things like that I just really, I think as I kind of develop personally, I would hope that my future husband's doing the same thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And I also knew that I wanted someone that brought out qualities in me that I felt like I naturally didn't have, or should I say, that I told myself I didn't have.
Ooh, okay.
Because I've noticed, like I always told myself I'm an introvert, but I feel like I'm kind of not now.
Yeah.
Like I'm definitely more chatty. Like I'll just start talking to people now, which I never used to do before. Like a few weeks ago, I went to the nail salon and I couldn't shut up. So I really have just started like chatting with people more, being more outgoing, more extroverted. And even like today, being in the city alone, I feel like I would have in the past just like called who I'm comfortable with and just like stayed in my hotel room or just like gone to a familiar restaurant and not done anything outside of my comfort zone. But I'm like, you know, going new places and doing everything on my own. And it's nice. Like I have the option to completely rewrite a narrative about myself that I told myself for so long. And I don't have to be that person anymore. Like the end of a chapter could also be the end of a version of yourself. And also when we broke up, I then was like, okay, we got together when I was 22. I met him when I was 16.
Wow.
Like I was so different. And now I'm a 26-year-old woman and I can be whoever I want to be. I can be independent. I can be sexy. I can be free. Like whoever I want to be, I can be. And that was really cool.
Yeah.
And I now have like the confidence and experience to do that at 26 that I did not have when I was younger.
Yeah. It sounds like you're very independent now. Like even just like the talking to people on the street. That's something that I used to be so shy about.
Yeah.
And I think that also comes with just being confident in who you are. And it almost sounds to me like you've met this new version of yourself and she's more confident.
Yeah.
Would you agree? Okay.
Yeah, 100%. And it's fun. Like it's fun to meet this version of me and be like, oh, maybe you do like talking to people. Maybe you do like, you know, going out. Maybe you do like, I don't know, knitting, like whatever it is. Like it doesn't have to be these super extroverted things, but the narratives I've always told myself, it's like, well, let's challenge that a little bit. Do you actually like these things or do you just tell yourself you like these things because they're comfortable?
Right. Do you feel like, and you don't have to answer this because this is personal, but do you feel like he like might have held you back a little bit or like held you to a version of yourself that you had outgrown?
No, but I think we both were really comfortable with how things were, that we were like, this is nice and there's nothing wrong, so why change it and why get uncomfortable?
Yeah.
But that's also, I think, where we both realized, like, maybe we're not the best for each other because we're not challenging each other anymore. Like, why would we, you know, go chat to random people and, you know, learn about others or go out and do something fun when like we know that we like to just be together, the two of us, like watch TV, watch a show and just like hang out. Like we are happy doing that. So we never were like, let's go do something else because we were always happy and comfortable.
Yeah. I mean, and that's just like such a testament to the quote of like growth happens outside your comfort zone.
100%.
And I know that's so cliche to say, but it truly
so
sounds like there's like so much freedom on the other side of this tough decision.
Yeah.
So you recently went to Miami too, right?
I did.
That's like such a like I'm recently single like thing to do.
No, beyond like single thing to do.
Yeah.
And Lily, I'm not kidding. Miami changed me. Like,
okay. In what ways? Let's hear about that. Let's hear about that.
Okay, it's so stupid. So I went to Miami for the Eras tour. And
love.
It was
That's
so fun.
Was that your first Eras tour experience? Okay.
Yes. First time going to Eras, first time going to Miami. And so that's why I went. But it totally looks like, oh, you're single and you're in Miami. Like
No, but it was super cute. Like I loved all your pictures. You look like you're having a blast.
I was having such a good time and I went with like my best group of girlfriends and we did what we were comfortable with. And that was like getting ready, which is always the best part.
Absolutely.
Getting ready, going to a long dinner, and just like having girl talk at dinner and then going home and going to bed. It was perfect.
That's amazing. That's such like a wholesome, fun girls' weekend, week, however long you were there.
It was awesome.
Yeah. So when you say that it changed you, in what ways do you think?
So when I was there in Miami, I was like, I'm going to cosplay being a baddie, like a Miami baddie.
Yeah.
Okay? Like, I'm in Miami. Why not?
Yeah.
So I got, you know, the dresses for it. I had my hair extensions in. I was like, I'm just going to, like, live it up. And I had such a good time just, like, pampering myself and being girly.
Yeah.
And I feel like since COVID, I totally stopped being girly. Like, stopped doing my hair, stopped doing my makeup. I was as blonde as you.
Yeah.
Now, like, I'm back to my natural hair color.
Which looks great, by the way. Yeah, it's so cute. I
have like a little bit of blonde in there. But I really was, like, ultra, ultra girly. And then COVID hit, and I was like, I'm in sweatpants every day. Why be girly.
Yeah.
Then I was in a very comfortable relationship. It's like, why be girly now?
Yeah.
Like, whatever. So I feel like I really lost that part of myself. When I went to Miami, I was like, I'm going to play back into that. And I felt so much like myself, right? Like just so girly, sexy, fun. I just felt so good about myself again. And I was like, this is a feeling that I've really missed. So ever since that trip, that feeling is what I want every day, and I try and hit it every day. And that doesn't mean appearance-wise. Like, that doesn't mean I do my hair and makeup every day. But it does mean that I will show up to myself to nourish myself in, like, my feminine side of things. So, like, making sure I always have my nails done is really important to me now, or making sure that I, do my skincare every day. Like, just little things of pampering, or lighting a candle in my apartment, making sure my sheets smell good. Like, just little acts of femininity and girliness is so fun. And I wasn't doing it for so long. So that was something that I've really incorporated since that trip to Miami, that I felt in Miami. And I was like, this is awesome. I want to make sure I do this every day. So that was one of them. Another thing was I saw this new version of life that was fun. And I keep saying sexy because it's just like I never felt that growing up or anything. And now that I'm independent and single, it's fun to like step into this version of myself and be like, I can be sexy and 26 and a woman. Like whatever. Anyway, so when I was in Miami, yes, I felt all those things, but I also saw the standard of life of work hard, play hard. And it made me want to level up my work, made me want to level up my lifestyle, and also how I wanted to treat myself, and eventually down the line, like a partner that would match that. Yeah. And that's continued on and translated into how I live my life now.
Love that.
And it was just really cool. Like, it really was a trip that changed how I viewed myself and my energy towards myself. And
That's
it's
so
been
special.
Awesome.
So when you say like work hard, play hard.
Yeah.
Because I haven't been. Actually, I went to Miami like one time, but it was like an overnight thing, and then I caught a connection somewhere else. Mm-hmm. So I like went out to dinner. Mm-hmm. But I think I was like 17 or 18, and I, went out to dinner with my parents, and that was it. Mm-hmm. What was different about like the work hard, play hard culture there that you think you've adapted into your routines?
Well, I didn't like go out to any clubs or anything.
I know. I feel like we're sitting here talking like I know you. I feel like well enough to know that like you. It's not like you were like dancing on tables, and, like ordering bottle service. Like you probably just like had fun with your friends.
That's 100% it.
Yeah,
had fun with my friends, and it was like you sit down at a dinner, you order whatever you want, you have the best conversations with your girlfriends, and you just know that like it just feels good to be able to provide for yourself emotionally, socially, and financially, and like having a nice dinner with people I love was all of those things that I was looking for. So when I say work hard, play hard, it kind of falls back into those three things I was talking about earlier, not necessarily like club until 5 a.m. and then I'm working really hard. Like it's not like that for me. I'm sure for some people it is. But for me, it was more so just in good company, treating myself and enjoying the scene that I'm at.
Yeah. And that's so special because like, I mean, I know for me, when my friends and I are all on the same wavelength as far as like, this is how we're going to have fun. But then we're also going to hit our workout. We're also going to, push each other in our businesses or in our school or in our ventures, like whatever it is. Whenever I feel the most supported by my friends, that's when I thrive the most. And that's when I'm the most inspired to push harder on the podcast or get a better grade or, whatever the situation is. And so do you feel like your circle now kind of like pushes you to be a better
100%,
studio owner, better coach, better podcast host, better whatever?
100%. Like my best friend, Katie, I'm so proud of her. She just got a new job in like the beginning of the summer and she's crushing it, like just crushing it. So seeing Katie live in her best version of herself is so inspiring for me because I literally see her just like living out her wildest dreams of like, I can't believe I'm doing this professionally, career-wise, like financially, all these sorts of things. And it's just like, that's so awesome. Makes me want to work harder and stay at her table. Like I want to keep having a seat at her table.
Right.
Rachel, who I also went with, one of my best friends, is crushing it, not only career-wise, but in life. Like, she's engaged to the man of her dreams. And a few years ago, she was like, I don't even know if I'll be able to find a guy, able to get married. Wow. She's like, but I really want to. So to see her put in the work towards herself, to now have like this man that loves her so much and loves her for exactly who she is. Like, he is perfect for her. She's perfect for him. That is so inspiring to see. And I remember when I was going through my breakup, I texted her very early on, and we normally aren't very sappy with each other. So I texted her. I was like, I'm going to be sappy. Give me 5 seconds. Aww. She's like, go. And I pretty much just said that to her, like, seeing you with Ryan is her fiance's name. Seeing you with Ryan is so inspiring. You have no idea. And, like, seeing how you have shown up to yourself, to your relationship, to your work makes me want to be a better person. And just being around those two in Miami was so special. And again, like, it's just always made me want to have a seat at their table. And it's cool coming from, to kind of bring it full circle, in high school having my thing and kind of feeling like I was always ahead of my friends career-wise. Just because of what I did on YouTube and then opening the studios at 20, like, while they were still in college. Like, I was always just ahead of them career-wise. So now to have not only the career field be level, but almost like they make me want to level up more. And I'm like, God, I got to keep going. You know what I mean? It's just awesome. It's so That's awesome. Amazing. I love seeing them in their element. I love seeing them thrive. It makes me genuinely so happy. And it makes me want to continue to be better.
So let's talk about your morning routine.
Okay.
Because you said that you love your mornings and you love your nights.
I do.
Can you tell me what you do in your morning?
I would love to tell you what I do.
Or maybe let's start with your night routine, because are you like a night routine goes in your morning kind of girl?
Yes, but okay. My morning routine actually starts my night routine.
Okay, perfect. All right, whatever order makes sense.
We'll start in the morning.
Okay, we'll start in the morning.
Because it's all connected.
Okay. So your day.
So
let's talk about a day in your life, Tori.
Okay, so my morning starts. I wake up. I recently just got the Hatch alarm clock, which is, like, honestly the best thing to happen to me.
I was about to ask, is it worth the
I fear it is. And I hate saying that because, like, I also have the Canon G7X, which I don't know why it's so expensive. Like, it used to not be as expensive as it is.
Is it still like $700?
Oh, no. It's like $1,000.
What?
No, it's not okay.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it used to be like between 5 and 7, depending on which version you got.
Not okay.
Wow. It's because everybody's a vlogger now.
I think so too.
Yeah.
And like last I checked on Amazon, literally $1,600.
What?
No, I know. Maybe that's just Amazon, but like, no, I know.
Wow.
I know. So whenever people are like, is it really worth the money? I'm like, I wish I could sit here and tell you no, but I can't. It is worth it.
It's good.
I feel the same way about the Dyson, like Shark Flex style.
Okay.
Unfortunately. Anyway, the Hatch is worth the money.
Okay.
I wish I could tell you that it wasn't, because it is a very overpriced alarm clock, but it's great. So I love that. I wake up to my Hatch, and I also have Hue lights.
Nice.
That do the same thing as the Hatch. So when my alarm does go off, my room is bright, and that really helps.
Wait, that's cool.
Yeah.
So are they on, because I have color changing lights, but they're on a remote. Are your lights on a timer?
Mine are like on my phone. Like, I can show you. It's on the Hue app.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. And they just gradually begin.
That's amazing.
I love it.
That sounds awesome.
It is.
Like a sunrise. Do you wake up before the sunrise?
Well, it depends on the time of year.
Okay.
Which drives me Lily, why doesn't anyone talk about this? The fact that the sun rises and sets at different times of the day every day.
Yeah.
It drives me up a wall.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, get it together.
It's so weird, too. And then I still don't, I know someone listening is probably going to be like, oh, well, she's just dumb. But I don't understand daylight savings time.
I don't either.
I don't know. I understand that back in the day it made sense.
Right.
Like when people were waking up to go farm, I think that would make sense.
That was the story we were told.
Yeah. But I don't know why some states choose not to do it.
I know. Like Arizona doesn't do it.
Yeah. I think, does Hawaii do it?
I think so.
Okay. But yeah, weird.
So weird. So, normally I wake up in the dark.
Okay.
But sometimes I don't. Like,
just depends.
It depends on whatever the sun decides to do that day, which drives me insane.
Yeah.
But whatever.
Yeah.
I can't, like, think about it. I spiral. So anyway, I wake up. Normally I wake up at 6:15.
Okay.
because I work out at 7:30 every day. I take a workout class, so I do 7:30 workouts. And so I wake up and I have an Oura ring. I literally live by this thing.
Is it worth it?
Unfortunately, it is. Unfortunately, it is. I've had it for 2 years.
Okay.
It's what I use to track my. I don't take like hormonal birth control or anything. It's what I use for my birth control.
Okay.
It's great for sleep. It's great for readiness. It's great for cycle tracking, temperature tracking, all that stuff.
Yeah.
It's not the greatest at like activity.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't ever detect when I do anything. Like I'll be working out and it's like, why are you sitting down?
Yeah,
like
weird.
It doesn't understand. But anyway, so I wake up 6:15. I check my Oura ring. I track my temperature, and then I just like linger in bed for like 5-10 minutes until I'm like ready to get up. Sometimes I'll play Wordle. Sometimes I will just lay with my eyes closed. Sometimes I will read something on my Kindle.
Are you a phone in the morning girl?
So, okay, I haven't actually talked about this.
Uh-oh. Do you have a bad habit we need to admit?
I have 2 phones because I was so addicted to Instagram that I had to like actually get it off my phone.
Wow.
And I know you deleted Instagram.
Yeah, I did. There was a period of time where I'm back now. And I think my scrolling addiction has also come back. But
100%. It comes back so quick.
It creeps up on you.
Yeah. So like this phone is my personal phone.
Yeah.
And then I have another phone that has my bad phone. So that has my Instagram.
Is that kind of like your work phone?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That has like Instagram, Gmail, all that sort of stuff. And that phone is away in another room.
Yeah, that's good.
It only is in my office, and I only use that phone when I'm working.
That's how you have to do it. That's really smart.
It's crazy, though, that's like the extent that it needs to go to. Like, why can't I just stop looking at Instagram?
No, but I mean, it's literally made to be addictive. And like, I find myself, like, I will log out of, because I have a ton of accounts, and I'm sure that you're the same way. Like, all your different businesses have different accounts.
Yeah.
And so that's what makes it hard, because I'm like, oh, well, I have to have it for such and such a business. Like, you know, of course I'm going to have it while I'm here. I'm going to be posting stuff. But then when I get in bed, sometimes I just have to delete the app off my phone. Yeah. Because I'm like, I will sit here for hours 100%. And scroll.
I never feel good.
Never feel good after.
Ever.
Yeah.
Ever. So, long story short, no, I'm not a phone girl in the morning. Good. But if I am, it's like Wordle. Like it's something like that that I can just like go on the web, because my bad phone is in the other room.
Yeah, that's good.
So I don't doom scroll in the morning anymore, which has been amazing.
Yeah.
So then I get up, brush my teeth, do the whole thing, get dressed, go to a workout. And for my workout, I normally do like a little bit of cardio, a little bit of weightlifting, strength training, sometimes yoga. It kind of depends on like what I'm in the mood for that day, but I always work out at 7:30. It's just my time.
Yeah.
Then I leave my workout and I go home. And when I get home, I go walk to get a coffee. And that's when I do like my morning sunlight, which helps at nighttime.
Yes.
So morning sunlight has been so transformative to my life. And I was talking to my best friend, Katie. She is having a tough time sleeping right now. And I told her about morning sunlight. I don't know if it's like helped her or not, but I believe in it so much.
Yeah.
So I'll walk to go get a coffee. My coffee order changes every day. Right now, it's a hot hazelnut latte with oat milk and a little bit of cinnamon on top.
Yum.
Really good.
That sounds good.
But I didn't get that today. Today I got a cold brew with a Christmas cookie cold foam on top.
Yum.
It was delicious.
That sounds good.
Yeah, I'll just walk in and be like, what am I in the mood for? So I kind of just get whatever.
Yeah.
Get my coffee. I walk back to my apartment, go up into my apartment, and then I will sit down, answer emails, check my phone, my other phone, and just like get my bearings for the day. Then I'll go take a quick shower. I normally wash my hair like once or twice a week. If I can get blowouts, I do. It just makes my life a little bit easier.
Yeah.
I don't have one today. But
you don't, or you do?
No.
Your hair looks good.
Thanks. It was just like
I was gonna
a
say,
shark.
it looks really good. Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't have time today. Otherwise, I totally would have.
Would you have gone like in the city kind of thing, or like do you have a place at home?
No, I have a place like right by my apartment that I love that does blowouts, and they do a great job. But my train was early, and they don't open till like 10, so I wouldn't have made it. Yeah. But and then when I got into the city, I was like, maybe I'll go to Dry Bar or something, but I was like, whatever, I'm already here.
Honestly, I thought about going to Dry Bar too, and I was like, I'll just do it myself.
Yeah,
like it's fine.
Yeah,
yeah.
But when I can get blowouts, it really it like lasts a week.
It does make it, and I'm like, what do they do different? I mean, obviously they went to school for it, so they know. But I'm like, if I could just learn how to do what they do.
I know. My life would change.
Oh, I would be set.
Same.
I'd be set.
Yeah. No, it's like the key to happiness.
Yeah.
So I'll shower. And right now I'm addicted to The Secret of Us, the deluxe album by Gracie Abrams. Do you ever listen?
Yes. Yeah.
Lily?
It's so good.
I can't stop.
It's so good. Is that the one? Because I just have been listening to all of her. I'm opening up Spotify right now. Is that the one with, hold on, I have to look her up. With That's So True, like that stuff. Okay.
Yes.
Because there's a deluxe and a regular.
Yes, the deluxe has the live versions. And I like the live versions.
Free Now. I love that song.
And should we just go through the album?
Yeah.
I'm actually so glad we're talking about this because I can't shut up about this album.
I Love You, I'm Sorry.
Of course.
That one takes me to another
Right now,
dimension.
I'm loving, I love them all. But like Risk, I'm having such a renaissance with.
That's a good one.
Every day is a little different. Today, so I have like hyperfixations and I'll just listen to one song on repeat. Today, that song is Let It Happen.
Okay, I don't think that I've heard that song.
Oh, Lily.
I'm slowly I haven't listened to the full album, but I find like little, or like Spotify will give me a song. I'm like, oh, this is good. Oh, this is good. And now it's like slowly building to my playlist.
You need to listen to Let It Happen. The way it like, it like hurts so good. It's
the way
so
it
good.
happened. Okay, I need to listen out. And then I also like Packing It Up.
How can you not?
That's a good one.
No, how can you not?
That's a really good one.
Yeah.
Something about her voice.
She's incredible.
Yeah, she's really good.
This album
is
truly no
with
skips.
Taylor?
She did.
Okay.
And this is where I'm like kicking myself because when she opened for the show that I went to in Miami, I had yet to find my renaissance with this album at the time.
Yeah.
Like I was like, oh yeah, I think I know I Love You, I'm Sorry from TikTok.
Yeah.
Like didn't listen to this album, didn't know a single song by her other than like that bridge, like whatever.
Yeah.
And now I'm kicking myself like, Tori, this album was played for you live. Not only did you not appreciate it, but you left to go get in the merch line.
No.
Yeah, no.
Shoot.
I know.
Dang it.
I know. And now I'm like, where can I see this whole album live? Like, it's
But you know what?
my lifeline.
I always find that with the openers. I'm like, dang, this is a really good song. I should add this to my playlist. And then I go listen to the opener like after the concert, and I'm like, dang, I should have known them the whole time.
100%.
Because it could have been so good.
100%.
Yeah.
So I listen to that album on repeat as I shower, and it's just the soundtrack of my life right now.
Love it.
Then I'll eat breakfast. Normally it's like some sort of egg thing. Nothing special. And then I will sit down and work, and that's my morning routine. So it's pretty simple. Like wake up, work out, get a coffee, come home, take care of myself, work. Then my morning begins normally around like 10 a.m. And I love that. Great morning routine. At night, I really am annoying about getting sleep. Like I need to get 8 hours of sleep every night or I'm miserable.
Yeah.
I'm really annoying with it. So getting my morning sunlight, when I don't do that, it's the biggest difference. I completely notice that I sleep terribly the nights that I don't get morning sunlight versus the nights that I do. Interesting. Huge difference. Okay. It's really wild. So I normally sleep really well at night. So normally now that it's like getting dark out earlier, I always kind of just go with the sun. Yeah. So when the sun starts to go down, so do my lights inside. I really don't put on overhead lights or anything. And if I do lights, I use Philips Hue lights around my apartment. And there's a setting called Relax. And I love that setting. Okay. So I use that.
Is that like dim, chill?
Yeah, it's dim and warm.
Nice.
Very orangey.
Love it.
I love that. So I put that on in the living room, in my bedroom. And I use like the microwave light too.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, like under the cabinet. Yeah. Okay, that's cute. I love a little under the cabinet.
Yeah, it's like so grandma.
It is,
and it makes me feel so safe. Like I don't know what about it, but I'm like, nothing can bother me now. So like, whoa.
Love it.
So that's like my lighting situation.
Yeah.
I try to eat dinner like 3 hours before I go to bed.
Okay. Do you find that helpful with like digestion? And
Very.
Stuff? Okay.
If I eat too close to bed, I definitely don't get as good of deep sleep.
Yeah.
And when I eat too far in advance of going to bed, I wake up hungry in the middle of the night.
Okay.
So interesting and so high maintenance of me to say all this, but it is the truth.
Yeah.
So 2 to 3 hours is my sweet spot before bed. Okay. Normally, I'm just eating something easy. Like I have a few like meals that I have on rotation, and I'll just make those. And they're good, and I just cook for one person. So, like, I make one meal on a Monday, and it lasts pretty much all week. Yeah. So that makes it easy. So I eat, And then it's chill. I do whatever I want. So watch a show, read a book. That's really it. Maybe like call my mom.
Love it.
Yeah, like very chill at night. And then when I start to get tired, I go to bed. Like I get into my room, I turn on my little hatch, and I put my head on the pillow, and I pass out. So I don't have a crazy night routine, but like my night routine is getting my morning sunlight. Yeah. That's the biggest thing.
I'm going to have to try that because I've been having the worst sleep lately.
Yeah.
And now that I think about it, since you brought up the sunlight thing, since it's been colder, I haven't been doing my morning journaling and stuff out on the balcony. I've been doing it in my bed.
Oh my God.
And so that definitely is it, because 100%. I would literally sit directly like where the sun would rise. Like it would be in my eyes.
Yes.
Like so much so that I have to move so like the certain pole on the balcony is like blocking the sun kind of thing. So I feel like that's probably it.
That's 100%
I'm totally messing myself up.
Yeah.
That's 1,000% it.
It's crazy how much of a difference that it makes.
Yeah.
Truly. Because you don't think about it.
Do you know the science behind it?
Andrew Huberman does.
Okay. I'll find a show. Andrew, I'd love to have him on the pod. That'd be so interesting.
Same. But
like,
I feel
what would I ask him?
What would we talk to him about?
I don't know. Yeah.
I would ask him to wear short sleeves.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like he would just go listen to my podcast.
Yeah, right.
There's nothing that I need to talk to you about.
No, 100%.
Yeah, he's so interesting and helpful.
He's coming out with a book, and I would imagine a lot of the book will be talking about morning sunlight.
Yeah, because he's so big on sleep. Yeah. Okay, well, I'm going to start finding a way to do that because I think I'm totally messing with myself by not doing that.
And it doesn't need to be anything big and elaborate. It doesn't need to be an hour-long walk every day. It doesn't need to be like this big thing where you just go outside and stare at the sun. Like it's seriously just as simple as journaling outside and just getting the rays into your eyes.
Yeah.
For me, it's just going to get my coffee.
Yeah.
And it makes the biggest difference. Even if I'm not doing anything and I'm just sitting outside. Makes the biggest difference.
It's so easy. Okay,
yeah.
I'm gonna get
and I know at night people love to do like drink magnesium tea and all sorts of that. I'm sure that works. But for me, like if I were to drink tea and then go to bed, I wake up in the middle of the night to pee, and that's disruptive.
That's me. I literally have the smallest bladder. And I like literally would have to pee all the time. I started drinking do you drink Element?
Love Element.
I love Element so much. And I started to do like the chocolate Element before bed
because I've never had that. Is it good?
Yes. Growing up, my mom, like whenever we would make like Swiss Miss hot chocolate, she would make us make it with water instead of milk. I don't know why. Maybe I just didn't like milk. Maybe that's why I did with water. But this tastes like that. So it tastes like pajama day before Christmas break, watching the Polar Express.
It's nostalgic.
Yeah, it's nostalgic for me. Yeah. So I like the chocolate Element. Friends of mine think that I'm psycho for drinking this. So have you gotten like just like the variety packs of all the different flavors? Okay, try it hot.
I have it. Oh wait, you drink it hot?
Yeah, it says enjoy warm on the package.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm drinking an Element right now. It's kind of watered down, and I kind of feel
flavor?
Like, lime or citrus.
Yum.
But the mix between the Element and my coffee makes my mouth taste really bad right now.
Are you drinking coffee right now?
Yeah, that's what's in this.
Lily, it's 4 p.m. No wonder you can't sleep.
Yeah, you're right. I've been in podcast land here since 1 o'clock, and I didn't sleep last night, so I didn't even know that it was 4 p.m. I also have only had a piece of avocado toast today. I need to go get like a juice.
Food.
All right,
I would have brought you something.
No, that's okay. We'll go get. Well, I also have to bust a move and get to Times Square by like 5:45. Anyway, we'll figure it all out. I'll stop for like a smoothie or something. Would not recommend this diet, people. do not take
like
this.
I feel like certain times of my cycle I can go a whole day, I'm not saying do this,
don't.
Without eating, because I'm not even hungry. And then other parts of my cycle I'm like, oh, I actually need to eat every 5 minutes or I'm going to rip someone's arm off.
Well, so I started my period yesterday.
I started my period 2 days ago.
Wait, are we
synced?
Are we synced? I think
is it the moon?
It is the moon. The full moon. I get mine like right around the full moon. So I'm hungry. I'm a hungry girl. So I'll go grab food after this. And then now I didn't pack enough tampons, so now I got to go to.
Oh, I have a few. Let me know if you need it.
Thanks. I took one out of the bathroom here earlier because they stocked them up. Yeah, I slipped an extra one in pocket. I was like,
this
just
place
in case.
Is so cool.
It's amazing. They're just the best.
No, it's so cool.
They really
saw
are.
Lily in the lobby. I was like, you don't feel imposter syndrome here? Like, I can't believe I'm here right now.
Yeah, and I was
so
like,
cool.
I kind of do, but I don't. Like, it's one of those things where I know that I've worked hard on the podcast.
Yeah.
And I'm so grateful for the staff at Spotify that lets me come and lets me email them and ask them all these questions. And, you know, like, I'm grateful for them. So they're just so good to me and so gracious, like, let me be here.
It's so cool here.
It's just really cool. So, like, grateful for them. But I also know that, like, I've, like, worked hard on the pod and, like, but it is. I do kind of feel like, oh, like, I'm in New York recording.
That's a great perspective.
Yeah.
And it's refreshing to hear that.
Thank you.
Like, you're like, no, I do have a seat at this table.
Yeah.
I love that take.
Thank you.
I love that.
Thanks. But it's also taken a lot of work. Like, there was a period in the summertime where I wanted to quit the pod.
Yeah, I remember listening to that.
Yeah.
I was driving home and I was like, oh, I hope she doesn't.
Thanks. But it was hard because I did feel like an imposter.
Yeah.
And I mean, you've been in this industry for a while and you know how difficult it can be, and or even probably translating to Stride, like, you know, there are ebbs and flows of your business no matter what happens. And so seeing people leaving the show or leaving like losing consistent listeners because I'm inconsistent, like that's really hard to go through. But I also know that that's me. That's my problem because I'm inconsistent.
But it's also interesting. I was having a similar conversation with my people that I podcast with. It's kind of same thing. Like, I feel like the show isn't growing. Like, how can I grow the show? And they wrote back something interesting. They were like, honestly, podcasting is such a new medium that we don't know what it looks like long term. You know, like podcasts that are new and that launch have great success rates out the gate. And then once they hit year 5, like, we really don't know what's going to happen.
Interesting.
And I'm on year 5, you're on year
4.
Yeah. So I feel like it's that time where it's like, okay, like, what do we do now? Like, do we keep going? Do we stop? Like, do we rebrand? Like, what is it? And it's true. It is a new medium. There aren't really people to look to. Yeah. And I think what you're experiencing, I'm also experiencing.
And it's crazy because everyone who I talk to, they've all said that this year was a dip.
Yes, very much so.
And so I don't know. There also was this talk about, like, Apple did some update and, like, it's harder to push out podcasts. So I don't really know what the thing is, but my network told me, like, drive your listeners to Spotify or try to drive them to Spotify because Spotify has more creator-focused features where they, like, you can comment, you can interact with people, you can watch videos on Spotify. So, it's just, it's crazy that because it's such a new medium, like, you don't know the longevity. Yeah. And, I don't know.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
And it's cool.
It is cool that we're, like, pioneering something. I don't know if that feels wrong to say, but yeah.
No, I just remember, like, 10 years ago, people would say podcast. I'm like, who listens to a podcast? Yeah. What even is a podcast? Yeah. And now I feel like everyone has a podcast, which is great. Like, there's room for everyone. And I think it's so cool that everyone has a podcast. But yeah, it is a super cool new medium.
Yeah. And here we are.
Here we are.
So, Tori, my last question for you.
Oh my God, we're done. I'm having so much fun.
I know. We're about an hour in.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
We're done.
Okay, so my last question for you, and I'll be interested to go back and listen and see what you said last time.
Okay.
But the average age here is about 22. So if you could go back and tell your 22-year-old self one piece of advice, what would you tell her?
Oh my God. First of all, I'd give her a hug.
Aw.
Yes, I would totally give her a hug. I would, gosh, there's so much I would say to Tori at 22. But for anyone 22 listening, I would say the world is so big and you seriously have the world at your fingertips. You can do so much with your life. And just because you can't right now imagine it happening to you doesn't mean it won't. So know that you can do anything you set your mind to. And if you truly work towards it and believe it happening for you, to you, it will. And don't sell yourself short. Like, you can do incredible, incredible things.
Love it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for coming on the pod. Where can people find you? Where can people listen to your show?
Yes, you guys can listen to Manifest with Tori Desimone every Monday, wherever you listen to podcasts. My Instagram is @ToriSterling_, and you can come take a class at Stride. The handle is @StrideCIL or @Stride Spin and Fitness. And I'd love to see you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.